Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I am Miss Day. This is a collective reading. So I heard the Weezer song right before starting it. Again, I heard two Weezer songs actually. One of them was You Can Have It, or If You Want It, You Can Have It. You've just got to learn to reach out there and grab it. Crazy, because today I'm working on videos basically explaining how to be a medium in a really easy sequence of steps. But I heard that, and then I heard the song Photograph by Weezer. I think it's called Photograph, where they're like, it's in the photograph. I don't know any other words. But when I heard that, I felt like it was instantly letting me know that it's like it feels like locked up memories. And I know oftentimes when we say that we can't remember a certain period of our life, or we're like, I don't remember my childhood. Oh, I don't remember that period of my life at all. It's totally blank. We can say that in a moment and not actually receive ourselves saying it because we can just say it because we're totally aware of it. But the thing is, when you're aware of something, if you don't emotionally accept it, then it never gets fully processed. And I feel like this entire reading is basically saying to see two sides to every feeling and every sentence that you speak. Every feeling that you have and every sentence that you speak. Because I feel like it feels like this prolonged period of being aware of blocking your own information and feeding that block over all of the years of your life by saying you don't remember, by saying there are like locked periods of time in my youth, and by blocking your emotions as even a survival tactic because of why you're blocking those periods of your life. And I feel like it's crazy because as I was like getting ready for the reading, I felt like there were two sides to everything. Like the fact is, like, we kind of hold ourselves in place by speaking narratives that don't have to be our future truth, but they feel comfortable now to sit in. And that's what I feel like it is. It's like someone is experiencing holding yourself back. I know I've said before, like, people that sort of hold themselves back with joking and like deflect compliments even with jokes about themselves. And I feel like this is saying to start speaking out your emotions, like constantly saying that and then holding yourself back. The reason this reading is all about two sides, and the reason that it started with that Weezer song, that if you want it, you can have it, you've just got to learn to reach out there and grab it. This reading is so much about like, okay, stop saying you can't remember and start speaking the truth out of you. It's like, and the thing is, you may have locked memories because you have not accepted the emotions about those memories. And anytime I've ever said anything at all about energy healing, that's what we do. We process information because you are an information processor. If you want to be a medium, you have to recognize yourself as what you truly are. Because if you don't have a foundation of something solid, then all of the information that you experience can become shaky and without a foundation of truth. So, it feels like, I'm like shaky. It feels like someone is experiencing, okay, there are locked memories, and it's because you block your emotions. That's who this is for. That's what this reading is saying. It's such a clear sentence. And it is basically saying you are denying yourself access to yourself, to your own information. So as an information processor, what you need to do, this is crazy, you need to speak out your true emotions about those periods of your life. It seems like the emotions you experienced at those times were not accepted and processed, which a lot of us do, but not everyone blocks their own memories from their conscious awareness. So whoever you are a strong, strong force in your vehicle. And I feel like you need to grab hold and start speaking out your true feelings, because this is crazy. I knew this was going to come in somewhere and I didn't know where. Your emotions are truth. The thought attached to the emotion may not be rational. It may not be true. But the emotion you experience because of it is true. So like, think about if you walk into a room and you think you see someone, but you don't. So like, just one of those moments where like, it's a funny kind of coincidence that happens, that I say funny, but what I'm talking about is when terror rushes through your body. And the reason it's funny is because it's not based on something real. Like where you're like, oh my gosh, I thought that was a spider, but it was actually a Halloween spider ring, you know? That type of thing, where it like shudders through your body and you fully experience it. You have an emotional reaction of terror and fear and holy crap, but it wasn't truth, was it? But your reaction was valid based on what your mind believed it saw. So when we speak things out about ourselves in a limiting way, which is what this feels like, it's like your guides are saying, this is how you unlock your memories. And that's how you're going to heal. Because being healed from emotional wounds basically means you don't block the process. Because energy healing, when I say that, all I'm saying is, like, the way that this reading is kind of coming in the form of a perfect sentence, it's like that's what it is when you're healing internally. There's an experience, you sense it, you have a thought about it, you have a locked memory, or you have a memory attached to something that sparked an emotion in you. And for whatever reason, because the reason of blocking is different for everyone, because everyone's environment is different. Even if you're the youngest child of a family and you have like 2 older siblings, each child has a different environmental experience because each of you have different siblings. It's crazy, but it's like there's not a single... Okay, I'm just going to get back to it. So this entire reading is about like 2 sides to everything. And I feel like it's really important because whoever this reading is going to, like if you're getting this reading today, one of the most important things I got, there are 2 sides to this mess. This is nuts. I got 2 things at once. One of them is, because I went outside and I was like, okay, I need to see if there's any important blasting message that's going to tie into what I think the reading is feeling like. So I got 2 things, because everything about this is an interaction type of feeling, where they're trying to give you the message that you interact with your true self. Your human interacts with your true self. And so when you speak things about yourself, you are making them truth. Like you're deciding to sit in that as if it's truth, even if it's not. And the other side of it is, this is all about a 2-sided thing. So if you're blocking yourself, you're actually able to block out here too. And I feel like your guides are literally trying to establish a connection with you, because I think you want one, but I think you block it. I think you may even say, well, I don't have any special gifts. I don't have that. I think some of you even say, I'm not inclined to music. I'm not artistically creative. And I feel like so many times people think that just because they never got a chance to try it out. And even if you did, I mean, no baby comes out walking. None. So, and this feels, okay. I feel like you interact with your environment is another part of this. Like, I feel like the words that you speak are your environment. That's what they're trying to say. This is nuts. And that's what we are as children. When we gain these reactions, we're interacting with our environment. And then if our environment gives us a reason to block our emotion, or even if our internal emotion, we're just like, oh my gosh, like we're a child. We're like, I don't want to feel that. That sucks. So we just cut it off and block it. It's like, this is entirely, okay. I also saw this, okay. The scene in the movie Troy, it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but like this line that I just keep hearing, like, take it, it's yours. Like when he screams, like I think he said immortality is yours, take it. Immortality, take it, it's yours. I think that was it. But like I just keep hearing that along with that Weezer song. And I feel like the photograph made me realize this is about memories. This is about, and I feel like some of you too, so, okay. I feel like one of those messages I got at first about like you interact with your environment, you can interact with your guides. You can reach right above everything you can see and interact with them. And that was one of the things I felt was like, you do have a choice about who you interact with. You have a choice about what your environment is like. And if you're choosing because of the holiday is what I was feeling. I feel like because of the holiday especially, this is obviously not everybody because of it, but like I think a lot of this moment in time when everybody's kind of gathering and feeling obligated to gather, even if it's like a toxic obligation, or if it's not the right environment for you to be able to feel your own truth. This, like one of the biggest messages I got when I went outside was, you do have a choice. Someone needs to know you do have a choice. And I feel like they're basically saying alone in your body, like just because you don't have a human person that understands that feeling, like you have a guide. This is, everyone does, but this feels like such a two-sided thing. It's like for every self-sabotaging thought that you have, they have the answer. Your guides have a one-liner to help you. And it's like you have got to unlock your own vehicle by recognizing that you're interacting with it. You've got to know you're interacting with it. Being aware of that, but still saying out loud, I'm not that, I'm not a medium. Got cut off there, sorry. Okay. So I feel like reaching upward for your guide is what they want you to do. And also, I think you're doing that. Like, I don't know if somebody specifically, again, is asking if they're not alone or if they are always going to feel alone. But it's like the entire answer in this message is you have a choice about that. It's your decision, because alone is not really alone. It's never really alone. It's like this entire message is reach up, and it goes all, just ask. Ask. When you don't want to be alone, you've got to ask for guidance. If you want to be a medium, ask to learn to be a medium. If you want to feel your guides with you, ask, like in your brain. And not only that, if you want to know what you don't remember, ask your own self, your brain, your human. Go in there with your consciousness and choose that you have to find the answer, because the answer is in here. And oftentimes, all you have to do is ask seriously, this reading is saying, ask yourself in your thoughts, what emotions do I not want to feel, but am carrying? What have you always felt, but you had to silence it to make it through the day? Like, you've got to find out what your emotions are, and I feel like you have to do this regularly. So many times people don't say that personal space is necessary, but like time to process and space to process it in your own individual way is the answer, because you interact with your environment no matter what. So you should be making a solid connection with your own immediate environment that your consciousness has. You've got your consciousness and your human. And like whatever your human has experienced, you have access to it because you have access to your own vehicle. And like, you just have to make the choice that you don't have to settle in a vehicle that doesn't really know what it is they're blocking or running from. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like becoming healed is aligning. Becoming a medium, becoming healed is aligning with yourself so that you can experience peace that's real. But to experience the freedom of choice without being run by your vehicle, it's like, that's when you're aligned. When you're a medium, you're aligned with nature. And I feel like I just keep feeling like you're innocent. This is like all about everyone being innocent. Whatever. This is really deep. But I feel so strongly that like it's real. So many times like we say, oh my gosh, I'm like shaky. It's like you're chosen ones, 144,000, like the chosen ones. If you're a healer, if you have a gift, if you experience this, you have what type of gift? It's like everyone is chosen. Everyone. There is no superior human. There are obviously there are better environments for a human to grow up in. We know that. But I feel like all I want to say is that it's not only, there are two sides to everything. Insane. Okay. It's like all I keep hearing is, it's not only that you're chosen. You have to choose you too. You have to choose too. You have to be. It isn't just I call on you. Like, that's not it. This is an interaction. This is both ways. Oh, you and the truth. It's like you and the truth are meant to be one. So when you say out loud, I don't remember that, I can't remember that, I don't know how I feel, it's like you're speaking into the air against your own self, your own connection to nature. And I feel like whoever this reading is going to, I feel like you're asking, am I always going to feel alone? Or why do I feel like this? So here's one of the things I kept thinking also. It's earlier that I feel like is coming in again. It's like, if you feel that, and this sounds a little weird, but when I heard that Weezer song, it almost felt a little bit like immature, but in a positive way, where it's like a little kid who's like, well, that's my parent. I can talk to my parent. They love me. And it's like, I feel like you're allowed to feel that way. That's how you need to feel about yourself. Like, there are two sides to everything. There is not just, some of us have a gift to talk to past loved ones. Some of us have this gift. Oh, I've had this gift my whole life. Everyone does, because it's an interaction. So if any of you are experiencing, like in this holiday season, like an obligated feeling to go be in an environment that doesn't feel good for your own self, to like be able to come out and exist, then I feel like this is very much like telling you, you get to choose. You do have a choice about who you interact with, what you surround yourself in, And I feel like they're basically telling you, okay, I kept picturing like, you know how sometimes you can go to maybe like a family event, or maybe way back when you were like in your teen years and you went to like a significant other's family thing, or if you have a family gathering, just picture like a family member that doesn't really want to be there. Like, what's their attitude like? They make it kind of obvious if they don't want to be there, and like they'll roll their eyes, they like make snide remarks, like, people make it obvious. So I feel like if that is the environment that you are interacting with, like if you're allowed to interact with the entire realm of information and consciousness, it's like I feel like the high frequency is saying like you do not have to stay there. Like whatever makes you grow and whatever is going to help you heal and move along your merry way, that is what they want for you. And I think that when you don't have anyone else speaking out your truth with their voice, if it's not vibrating out of someone, then I feel like this message is so much like you need to speak out what you want the truth to be, not what has been holding you back. Like speak something new out into the air. It's crazy because I feel like this makes me I feel so much like I just keep wanting to say, well, ask for it, ask for the answer. It's in your mind. When you go in to connect to yourself, you literally ask a question in your own brain to find the answer inside of yourself. So it's like if something has happened in your life and you feel like, I don't know why I feel all of this weight of negativity right now, maybe around this date, this time of year, like you're living in the home you've lived in all of your life. So if you go inside, if you just like shift your interaction to an internal one, then you are the only one with access to the information. And like you're the only one with the ability to know what really happened and what you reacted to because of your own perception at that stage of life. So like at this stage of life, the reason I was talking about that holiday sort of feeling is like, the person that doesn't necessarily want to be there. It's like if you're at an adult stage of life and you're still feeling those sort of like younger interaction feelings where you're like stuck in a place you don't want to be, but you didn't have a choice, like someone just needs to know now you do. And if no one alive in human form is telling you this, it's like they're trying to say it for you, because you need to not just think you have a choice, you need to act on it. Like actively make use of the fact that you have a decision about what you interact with instead of having a bad attitude in a bad situation for yourself. Like it's not always a favor to go when you feel obligated, is what I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, I don't know who needed to hear that. I just keep having like flashbacks to certain things, and I feel like this all ties in because there are two sides, which means there are two choices. So like two opportunities in certain situations, which I don't think is everywhere in life, but like certainly in this reading, whatever situations you're finding yourself in, it just seems like such a thing where we almost don't do anything sometimes when we don't know what to do. And also there's even like this feeling of when you're super uncomfortable, saying things that don't align with what you're actually thinking. So I don't know if some of you are uncomfortable in family situations and do that, where you like say things and you're like, I don't even know why I said that. That wasn't even a joke that I would make alone, like with my own friends. I don't know. It's interesting. So I'll leave it at that. If this is helpful, definitely let me know in the comments. This is funky, super intense reading. It's like such a power reading. I also just pictured with great that I don't know if I've said this in a reading before, but because it's like such a cool scene that sticks in my mind, but like the end of Spider-Man, the one way back, It's like he says, his uncle tells him before he dies, with great power comes great responsibility. And in the end of the movie, you sort of realize that that means he has to detach from the idea that he's going to have certain relationships with certain people that are not on the same path as him. And I feel like that's a choice. He had to make that choice. That's what makes you responsible for your abilities, is when you choose to take responsibility for it. It's crazy. It's just a choice. It's like such a choice reading. Okay. I will leave it at that. So that's the other thing. If you have a lack of emotional connection to yourself at periods of time, or even when you're faced with uncomfortable things, this is very much like you do have, the answer is no, you actually can access your emotions, but you have to want to. You have to like turn a question inside of yourself instead of seeking outward or constantly interacting with other people who don't know what is contained in here. Like, you've got to go in there. It's the source of all of your power. Okay. All right, I'm really going to leave it at that now. Definitely join my membership if you're interested in becoming a medium. I hope that this resonates, and allow for notifications. Subscribe to the channel if you feel like any of them do. Have a good rest of your evening. I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.